the Church of Scientology is so afraid of.
This is SPTV.
Hello, everyone. Good morning to all of you. Hope everyone is having a fantastic. I always do that. I always put the feedback on my. Okay, there we go. There's still horrible feedback, you guys. What in the hell's going on? Literally, I think it's because I have my YouTube open. Hold on. Sorry about that. There we go. In today's video, you guys, we were sent this video, literal tour of the inside of the hotel that we have been speaking about for the last few months, the Scientology hotels. Now, this tour was organized by Debbie Cook. So shout out to her for organizing this tour. And we're going to get into Debbie Cook's pitch. We're going to get into the inside of who's working inside of those hotels, because you're going to see right there that, you know, they had not a shred of problem showing all the minors, the very real minors that are staffing their hotels. So we're going to kick off this tour with the illustrious Debbie Cook, a woman who spent a whopping 17 plus years relishing her role as the captain of these grotesque child abuse facilities and establishments. Debbie, who can still be found floating on her cloud of self-serving denial, seems utterly convinced that she's as innocent as a newborn lamb who today seems to have no time for anything else other than blissfully cashing hush money checks, while she conveniently is forgetting how close her involvement in overseeing and actively participating in all of those unlawful activities, including but not limited to the trafficking, systemic trafficking of minors within her cozy hotels, which is an industrial size, Florida sanctioned child trafficking establishment from hell. And wait, there's more. Literally, the alarms are going off, guys. What's going on? This is not a test. National Wireless. Oh my goodness. So yeah, lots of stuff going on, you guys. But as I was saying, last but not least, brace yourselves for this thrilling roller coaster ride of state-sponsored trafficking and Class A felonies as we shed light on Scientology's darkest and plain sight hotel. So let's take a look at this little hotel and let's see what could be wrong with this picture or what could be right. Let's just take a look at this, you guys.
Hello, and welcome to FLAG. I'm Debbie Cook, captain of the Flag Service Organization. Here at FLAG, we are always working to achieve LRH's intention of widening the highway and broadening the bridge for all to travel. And the result? An OT boom unlike any time in history. The expanded advanced organization has tripled the number of Class 9 auditors. FLAG is making more golden age of tech OTs than ever before. And as the home of solo knots, FLAG is now producing OT7 completions on an almost daily basis. A state that has...
All right, guys. So let's really take a look at this picture right behind Debbie Cook. Do you see the girl there with a ponytail and a yellow t-shirt or a yellow shirt behind that desk? That is a minor that Debbie Cook brought for herself to turn her into a literal slave. And she's a minor from Venezuela. Her name is Adriana, and she was put into that hotel. She didn't have work permit to be working in the US when she was first brought in. But, don't worry about it. Glenn Stylo from OSA hooked up that minor with some sort of R visa so that she could be there. So right there in plain sight, it's not like these kids are hidden in some corner, you guys, where nobody knows that there's kids inside hotels. Nobody has a clue, right? Like all the people that are going in there to get serviced inside of Debbie Cook's hotel is literally greeted by minors. So there's one minor there, and actually right behind her, there's another girl that was also a minor that we kind of missed. Let me see if I can find her. Well, trust me, there's so many minors coming up that we're not even going to run out, because the minors are in every nook and cranny of these hotels. Let's take a look at
Flag is now producing OT7 completions on an almost daily basis, a state that has never existed before in this or any other universe. Throughout the entire world, Solonauts auditors are auditing themselves to cause over life, with a Solonaut session starting every 16 seconds, over 18,000 sessions per week. And our immediate target is to double the number of Solonauts auditors. Every course room, every auditing room, every staff member has the purpose to get you to OT. That's why we're here. So, welcome to the Mecca of Scientology.
So that first cheeseball thing, guys, that she's talking about, like, oh yeah, everyone's here to make you go OT. Well, guess what else needs to happen before anybody becomes OT? They have to incriminate themselves fully. Get it? They have to get through a OT eligibility, where RTC is pouring through hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of pages of admissions to criminal activity. That's the OT eligibility. A whole sec check asking disgusting, depraved, unthinkable questions that have no other purpose than incriminating the end user. And the more they're willing to incriminate themselves, the more qualified they are to do Debbie Cook's OTs that she's selling. That she's literally selling with a straight face. That she's literally selling as if it's this wonderful thing. That she's literally staffing those hotels with minors, foreign and domestic minors, that she has in the hotels. So I think that was very telling of, the type of awareness and consciousness of guilt of this woman, as she pitches this, paradise of, oh, aren't you so glad you're going to have a ton of sessions going on and everything's going to be so great. But were things really that great is what we would like to ask Debbie Cook today. Was things that great, honestly? Or it's just maybe needs a little bit of revisiting of consciousness to understand what it is?
At the Flag Advanced Org, we're moving people up the bridge from here to OT faster than ever in history.
And just so you guys know, all those people you see walking behind these people, making it look all casual, like, oh yeah, we're so many people coming around here, whatever. Every single person that is being used in this video, you guys, is a person that is being told to be in the video, is being told when to walk in the video, is being told how to dress in the video. So they try to portray this very casual look of like, oh yeah, like lots of people smiling and having a jolly old time inside this hotel. But it's all completely and utterly rigged. So don't buy the pitch that this is a hotel where, just casually we grabbed the camera and then casually we started yapping and pitching our disgusting services inside of this hotel. Because nothing about this whole thing, as much as they try to make it look so casual and whatever, is all actually fully staged.
Everything we do is aimed at increasing the speed of service and shortening the length of time it takes to get you onto your OT levels. Our lines are set up all in one self-contained building. Everything is right here. The AO registration offices are just off the main lobby, where you will be routed right onto service. Golden Age of Tech word clearers, cramming officers, and ethics officers are set up to handle whatever you need, so you get in session fast and stay in session intensively.
Okay, so let's take a look at this photo right here, guys, because guess what you see right here? This girl right here, that's another minor. The one that you see dressed in a ridiculous clown suit. Because these people went from wearing the military uniforms. This was later in Debbie Cook's career, where she really did start, changing the uniforms because they were having a lot of PR flaps, is what she told us. Oh, we're having a lot of PR flaps, you guys. People think that we're completely out of our minds wearing ridiculous uniforms from hell with military ranks on them. And, they are really wondering what in the hell we're doing. But you know what? Throw a khaki suit on a 16-year-old and, she's now all of a sudden an ethics officer. Isn't that great, guys? So here you go with the idiot adults that are all about studying and getting service by the minors right here. There's another one right here in the back where it says ethics reception. That's another minor right there. So minor right there, minor back here. What in the literal hell are minors doing staffing these hotels? And imagine minors doing ethics handlings on adults. Because again, all of these adults that you see here are running around pretending that, what is the big deal? We want to go free. And if we're going to have these, kids be the slaves that make us go free, then what is everyone so pressed about? Like, those kids wanted to sign the billion-year contracts. Those kids wanted to be part of the ethics division of Debbie Cook's hotel. So don't advocate for them. They brought this onto themselves, is what the Clearwater Police is saying. They brought this onto themselves, is what the Tampa Bay Times is reporting. The kids inside of those hotels pulled it in. They signed a contract. They're binded by contracts. And right now, the literal courts of this United States are all playing dumb, thinking that, why in the hell can't a minor from Venezuela be brought in, made to sign a contract, and then all of a sudden, they're very binded. All of a sudden, they cannot get out. All of a sudden, they are literally up to their neck and ears in debt bondage. As if the use of minors is not in their promotional materials, guys. As if the use of minors is not something they weren't actually super proud about. Oh, look, doesn't she look great in that little khaki suit that we just put her in? She doesn't look like a prostitute. She looks like a very, very serious ethics officer that she's not. Right? So here's the receipts so that anybody that is out there going like, oh, but how many kids are being used? Well, you know what? This is frame 3. And we've already spotted about 4 of them. And we're just literally getting started. Hopefully, it's going to take us so long to get through this nauseating 25 minutes of disgusting pitch. But just so you know, everyone is in on the use of minors as their slaves inside of those hotels. Debbie Cook loved it. The parents that signed up their kids to this love it. Everyone is all about this culture of exploitation of minors, of utter senseless exploitation of minors, because that's all it is, you guys. There's no other name for this.
The Flag Solo Delivery Team has produced more solo auditors than any other team in the world. Over 3,000 in the last year alone. They can turn anyone into a crack solo auditor. They train to complete competence, unshakable certainty, and utter perfection. Every supervisor has completed the flag-only professional metering course and has an
there's
RTC.
Another girl right there, another minor, guys. Carly, that's her name. She was a supervisor. She was training when I was there, so I know her personally. So there she is, getting her time wasted by Debbie Cook and the rest of her child trafficking executives that went and grabbed her all the way from Canada, because that's what this kid comes from. Isn't that great that we're so international at this disgusting hotels that we just go to Mexico? Oh, grab a Mexican kid, go get Serge. Oh, go get Carly from Canada. Let's bring her across international borders. Let's get them crossing borders, international borders, because the ICE people in this country have not a clue on how to like spot anything mysterious or anything suspicious or fishy AF. So another kid is right here being shown to you because, yes, there's going to be kids all over their promotional videos to really incentivize adults that want to come get serviced by kids.
Pass on solar metering drills. They speak English, French, Spanish, German, and Italian. Tech is fully in these course rooms. If that student ever slows down, it's meter checks, spot checks, or suit two-way.
And this guy here that's giving the cans to this woman, he used to work for my grandparents. His parents used to work for my grandparents in Mexico, you guys. And Debbie Cook went on a recruitment blitz to Mexico and grabbed this entire family. Literally scammed an entire family to cross the border through Texas, to bring their daughter with them. This is the Martinez family. And the Martinez family had a horrific thing happen to the daughter who was underage. Remember, Debbie Cook, how Diana was literally essayed by 8 grown adult men inside of these hotels? And remember what happened to her, Debbie? Remember how she was sent to the RPF? Remember how she was punished by you, Debbie Cook, because she went out to D with grown men that you exposed her to, and you really wanted to blame it on her. So that's who this guy is. He wasn't a minor by the time he signed to the SEAR, guys, but his little sister was a minor. And she was essayed, full-blown ARD. So let's make sure that that is clear so we continue to expose how many families are implicated in the trafficking and how many executives are implicating playing dumb as we speak, just playing dumb and dumber, like Debbie Cook, who really wants to cash checks to keep her mouth shut about all this stuff that's literally here on the public record.
Until he's fully FNing again. As a clear, you can be here tomorrow. Complete solo while you finish off your OT preps. Get your eligibility and then start new OT1. All in a month, or half that time if you're already trained. You will be solo auditing in a perfect environment, with everyone in it helping you to move through. No distractions. Just steady progress as you enter the world of OT.
Not such a great environment, you guys. The perfect environment, in fact, is what these people call it. The perfect environment where you will have access to kid slaves. Yay, what a perfect, amazing environment, honestly. I mean, if somebody can make this make sense to us right now, that makes not a shred of sense, we would love to hear a pitch from any Scientology adult that really wants to tell us how spiritually awakened they were getting by having kids become their slaves. Make that make sense in this year 2023. All Scientology parents, shout out to y'all, Scientology parents from literal hell. It's not like the Scientology parents are not the benefactors of the child trafficking, you guys. The financial rewards were transferred to the parents who didn't have to take care of their underage kids. We're talking an industrial size of kids. We're not talking one, we're not talking two, we're not talking like three that really were hidden in a closet. We're talking the entire hotel is being staffed with minors and deranged clown executives from hell that have not a shred of critical thinking skills. All they are obsessed with is having L. Ron Hubbard's agenda being implemented. That's all they literally care about. As long as whatever L. Ron Hubbard wrote on a piece of paper is actually role played and done inside of those hotels, then, you know, they're following the law. The law of L. Ron Hubbard supersedes the toothless, ridiculous, pathetic, unenforceable laws of these United States that are nowhere to be enforced inside of these hotels. As we can already see, in what world can you go inside a company and have 14, 15, and 16-year-olds, literally that age, doing the work? Because we've yet to find a single example where that's applicable other than inside of Debbie Cook's hotels.
Flag has busted open the top of the bridge with the incredible expansion of the Flag AO. With the golden age of tech for OTs and correct programming of cases.
Well, guys, isn't it interesting? The senior case supervisor, the buddy of Bill Clinton himself that went to school with Bill, Richard Reese, the senior case supervisor, guys. The senior case supervisor is the most disgusting, depraved, unhinged position that this hotel has. There is no one that has a front row literal seat because he's stuck inside an ivory tower watching video recording, having hundreds of screens in front of him where he directs, okay, I want to record that session. I want to listen to what those people are saying. I want to hear what that kid is talking about. So this is Exhibit A of degenerate of degenerates. Never mind that he's dead already. Never mind that he died of literal toe cancer. His toe had cancer and he is dead. So apparently New Era Dianetics doesn't work whatsoever because this supposed genius, buddy and best friends of Bill Clinton, that did take it upon himself to write a letter. Hey, Bill, just help us out because, you know, we really want to get that exemption. We really want to get the IRS to help us, Bill. Can you please just hook it up, Bill? I saw the goddamn letter, you guys. It was paraded to me by this disgusting clown saying, like, look, Serge, aren't I so cool that I helped Scientology get the IRS exemption? Look at this letter from Bill, because he really is great friends of mine. So this is the man who was having a front row seat, watching, recording, getting on a first-hand basis briefed of the felonies that they were laundering inside of these hotels. This is the man who was practicing law without having any shred of license to be practicing that. Never mind that Richard Reese did have full-blown high university education. So before everybody goes, oh, but they're so brainwashed, they really are programmed to believe this and that, it's called they made a literal choice. Stop giving these people cop-outs about how brainwashed they were and, oh, aren't they just, we all need to cradle and canoodle them because you know what, once upon a time, they decided to be full-blown idiots for themselves. They made the most horrendous choices, followed the commands of a convicted and indicted felon, L. Ron Hubbard, who right here you see them pitch as this miraculous thing, and aren't you so great, and aren't we all going to have the most amazing time inside of these hotels? Well, maybe it wasn't that much of a great, amazing time, Richard, since you are just a crooked degenerate from hell.
Flag is making OTs in more volume than ever before. We have more than 70 Class 9 NOTS auditors set up to deliver
70 NOTS auditors, you guys. That's what these people had, 70. And guess who was training those auditors? Gee, I wonder if I had anything to do with it. I wonder if I was tapped as a minor to train those stupid 70 adults to really practice law without a license, to really launder felonies on a full-time basis, to literally just act depraved and unhinged without having any self-awareness, because I did give them a certificate, you guys, at the end of the 2 weeks. And that's all it took for them to believe that, yeah, I mean, doesn't that make so much sense, you guys? A literal child from Mexico is who these people tapped to train these supposed NOTS auditors with lots of abilities to do. What exactly are these auditors having the ability to do? And in what world are people being trained by children and with a straight face charge $1,000 an hour to go get interrogated inside of these hotels? Because that would be very interesting to understand too today, since that doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
delivered to thousands in the OT band. Yes, more than 70 fully trained Golden Age of Tech Net for OTs auditors ready to take you in session. Any arbitrary standing in the way of your progress up the bridge and achieving total freedom have been removed. If you're OT3, your next step is OT4. And if you're OT4, your next step on the bridge is NOTS. All arbitraries are canceled. Your next step is NED for OTs.
The stupidity of this, guys, the arbitraries are what kind of arbitraries were there in the first place? The arbitrary is that y'all are total pathetic, imbecile clowns pitching ridiculous things by a convicted, indicted felon with a full-blown straight face. And it wasn't like you went to a really top of the top university, Richard Reese. But yeah, I mean, guys, what arbitraries were found and taken away because the arbitraries have been removed? It's like these people would hype themselves over the most ridiculous things. They would create their problems and then they would be like, oh my God, you guys, the problem that we just created, we really did take away. So aren't you so happy that we, created a problem and then took the arbitrary that we put ourselves out because now we want to really make money. So let's take the arbitrary out so we really get more people in here to start scamming quickly.
Knots consists of 26 separate steps, each one an OT rundown in itself. The first step is designed to raise your theta perceptions. As you progress through each rundown, you experience enormous personal expansion and freedom while blowing stops that otherwise might prevent.
Let's rewind here real quick, you guys. Okay.
Separate steps, each one an OT rundown in itself. The first step is designed to raise your theta perceptions. As you progress through each rundown, you experience.
Okay, guess who this is right here? You guys, guess who in the world that person is? Because if you cannot guess because it's blurry AF, I can guess. I know who it is. Is Katrina Reyes. Remember that one that we just interviewed last week, I believe? The one that was brought in from Siberia as an 11-year-old to be trafficked, to be, she explained to us what her job was, to come and grab people that were waiting there to get serviced, come and grab them. And then she was supposed to schedule them. And then she was supposed to give them vitamins. And she was supposed to make sure that the auditor's time was not wasted. So there you go. Another example of another minor being used inside of those hotels in real time. Another minor being used as a promotional piece so that you don't give any of these Scientology adults a shred of plausible deniability and benefit of the doubt that they don't have. They don't have plausible deniability. They don't have the benefit of any doubt at all. They were depraved. They were unhinged. They were entitled. They utilized and tapped slave minors so that they could go and get off with Richard Reese and his 26 rundowns of whatever in the hell that man is pitching to these disgusting people that are all sitting there in couches really waiting to get serviced. Because really, should we really be having all these minors from other countries just come in and have that be their job? I mean, you guys tell me. I mean, am I just... Literally, this is so gross.
Enormous personal expansion and freedom while blowing stops that otherwise might prevent the attainment of full OT.
And I mean, just look at the clownery of this man, you guys. As he sits there smiling and having a jolly old time and ha ha ha, aren't I getting a great service inside of this hotel right now, reading this disgusting rants of a convicted indicted felon. And wasn't it great that a Katerina outside, the minor, came and got me to tell me that my session was gonna be really be done. So it's all right here, and you can see these clowns in their own environment laughing and having a jolly old time, because being a depraved, disgusting degenerate inside of those hotels is allowed. They created a safe space for that to happen, a safe space from executives, including but not limited to Debbie Cook and Richard Reese and that other clown DFP that was, also pitching just a minute ago.
And the result? Utter certainty of your personal immortality as a spiritual being. Delivering in English, French, German, Italian, Spanish, Dutch, and Japanese.
There's Nieves Gali, you guys. This woman, if there was ever unhinged people, it's this woman right here that you see. She was given so many awards for being Auditor of the Year. Auditor of the Year, Nieves Gali. Yay! Auditor of the Year, Nieves Gali. Well, guess what this woman was known for, you guys? Just take a wild guess. Nieves Gali, this woman from Spain that was a full-grown adult when she came to become part of these hotels. So she wasn't a minor. She wasn't uninformed. She wasn't young and naive. She was full-knowing, full-grown ass woman. And she was known for being a total and utter depraved bitch inside of those rooms. She would not let people go for 9 hours. She would not let people go for 12 hours. Repeating questions. Tell me what else you did. Tell me what else is your withhold. Tell me what you're hiding. Tell me what you're doing. Tell me what you're not wanting us to know. Over and over and over ad nauseum. So this is Nieves Gali, disgusting, depraved woman of the disgusting year. That did get a ton of accolades from Debbie Cook. Was one of Debbie Cook's favorite people. Imagine that. And then right there, you see her PC folder. Okay. That's what the dossiers look like, guys. Literal, huge, entire manila folder. And you see how it has a binder clip on here? Well, guess what? Everything here is the programs that that person has been doing. So whatever is in this part of this folder tells anyone who knows how to read those folders what kind of felonies this person is responsible for. What kind of sexual perversions have they been told? Have they admitted to? How many times they've committed criminal activity? All of this information is carefully tabulated, summarized, dated, marked. Every single person that read the felony writes with their initials that they read it, like Richard Reese. Oh yeah, I CS this, I case supervised it, so let me just write it real quick here. Richard Reese. And this was Richard's handwriting, guys. Like he had a disgusting, like he would go like this and then go like this. So it was like he always make like a big R, like a big bubble, and then like that. So Richard Reese, every time he read a felony that was full self-admitted on January 4th, 2098, I went inside my daughter's room. I slipped my hand inside my daughter, and yeah, let me really get off this withhold. As soon as Richard Reese read that worksheet and graded the withhold pulling of this disgusting woman, Nieves, who is still at it, apparently, still at it today, interrogating people and literally incriminating herself, practicing law without a license, calling it a very religious experience, what all these people are having in there. What type of religious experiencing is practicing law without a license, you guys? Please, 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 please.
Our class 9 will take you in session 4 to 6 times a day.
And that was a Mexican girl, you guys. That other auditor was a Mexican girl brought in to be trained to be one of these CSs. And this is Lucia Palmer, another depraved woman that was interrogating people right there. You see her coming out of her interrogation room. But this is Lucia Palmer, another crazy ass, deranged AO auditor that, was part of Debbie Cook's stable of Debbie Cook's gross co-conspirators, all literally telling each other that they couldn't be more legit, that they couldn't be more onto something, because, incriminating themselves was just part of their power trip. Literal part of their literal power trip. They didn't want to go to law school. They didn't really want to practice actual law. They wanted to get a 2-week course, take it, and then all of a sudden have a certificate, and then all of a sudden pretend that they are like some sort of like prosecutors that can really like ask whatever questions they want inside of those hotels. Isn't that interesting?
Often you hear pre-OTs say they blew more charge in one short session of knots than whole intensives of lower bridge auditing. As more knots cases confronted.
See, guys, what Richard just talked about here. They just blew charge. They just blew the charge in one session more than any other place ever before. Well, blowing charge is just a little euphemism these people are using to purport that the self-admitted felonies that they were all about talking inside of those hotels blew. The charge blew. We have technology that just blows it. And all of a sudden, the self-admission of including but not limited to what they were doing to their kids, the type of porn that were checking out for themselves. I mean, that was one of the major things that would come up in these people's sec checks, you guys. I really was watching CP, and I really did get off watching CP. So now what? Oh, let's just incriminate ourselves some more. Let's really do a tailor-made CP sec check. Because why not? Why not ask all the questions? Why not ask for 50 hours? We'll have Nieves Gali interrogate them. She never misses a single detail.
The outright miracles of LRH Tech happen more than ever before.
Outright miracles of L. Ron Hubbard. The self-admitted, completely disgusting people that are addicted to CP experience a miracle. Isn't that great, guys? Isn't that so great that that happens in this very religious experience that all these people are having? Oh yeah, just CP all the way. So what would happen when they would find out that there was CP obsessions? Go check out the IIS. Go check out how many millions get transferred as donations. I'm going to really donate $5 million because I have nothing to hide in my conscience, except that I did just tell them that I was doing the most disgusting searches online for CP for me to get off. That's what these OTs were telling inside of these hotels, including but not limited to. Was every single person literally doing that? No. But every person that did do that did go and tell them. So just keep that in mind. Every last self-admitted felon that literally violated every law, toothless law that this United States does not have any time or appetite to go and enforce for itself, because they rather outsource it to hotels such as this. That's who literally Clearwater Police is tapping to do their job. Well, you know what? We don't have a force to go and interrogate people about doing anything with, self-admitted CP people. So let's just let y'all at the hotel just take care of that. Because why not? I mean, why literally not?
Freeing the being from disabilities that have affected him for eons.
I mean, affected them for eons, guys. Like, the Google searches for CP weren't eons ago. There were things that these motherfuckers were doing in present time. So let's make sure that that's very clear. Because again, it's like these guys were so good at PR. Let's really talk about spirituality and eons and this and that. And all of that is hogwash. To launder, to sanitize falsely what Debbie Cook and Richard were doing behind the scene for themselves. They were that sick. They were that depraved. They were that unhinged. There's just no other explanation for it.
Flag is the home of solo knots. Students are moving through new OT6 and onto OT7 in record time. Every step you've taken in Scientology culminates in this HGC and the auditing of solo knots, the final stage of the second wall of fire. At Flag,
Second wall of fire, guys. Another ridiculous platitude, baseless euphemism that these people are virtue signaling to themselves. So there is all the legal walls of fire that these people do run through them, because they don't expect to ever face any consequences, any legal consequences for illegal behavior that they're all about festering and fostering inside of these hotels.
you begin the non-confidential part of the OT6 course at the same time as you receive new OT5. This way, by the time you complete new OT5, you can literally be a week away from your first session on SoloNet for OTs. When you do new OT6, you don't just become a...
So take a look at what these course rooms actually look like, guys. Take a look for yourselves. All those people reading these disgusting memos from a convicted felon, paying to read them, paying to feel special, paying to be entitled to slave workers that are including but not limited to minors inside of the hotel. These are the people that are financing all the trafficking that made Debbie Cook run her little hotel. So as much as nobody wants to actually connect a single dot, these are the financiers. Every single one of these people inside of this literal room is financing for kids to be abused and enslaved in unthinkable, dehumanizing ways. But they're going to be very happy and they're going to smile a lot because they really are getting a lot. They're so pressed to get their little certificate for, I'm an OT5, I'm an OT6, I'm a this and that. And all of that nonsense is why they're going inside of these course rooms, so that they can get a certificate. A fake status is the driving force behind all the enslavements, systemic, institutionalized enslavement of kids. Go figure.
perfect SoloNauts auditor. You master 79 exact auditing procedures and audit them directly under our SoloNaut CSs. There is literally no aspect of case that cannot be addressed and handled with the tech of this level.
No aspect of case. See, guys? So the ones that have a problem with CP, oh, don't worry about it. There's not an aspect of you that we cannot handle. So
The end result is cause over life, with more winds of magnitude than you can conceive of. This is the road that leads to personal freedom, immortality, and the attainment of full OT.
Freedom and immortality as you tell them that you are literally a disgusting degenerate that goes on Google and searches for CP. But these people are very immortal, guys. These people are very helped inside of these hotels because all they do is yap their mouth, and all of a sudden, the technology miraculously dissolves any of the actual legal consequences they should be facing in a court of law, not in a hotel, in a court of actual law, where people do have to study more than a 2-week course to understand in what type of mess are these people actually in, where they're not tapping a 16-year-old ethics officer to really actually clean up what. So that's why this is a full-blown racketeering conspiracy, what these people are doing inside these hotels, guys.
Here at Flag, we train auditors. Auditors who are flawless, and who apply 100% standard tech 100% of the time.
So here you have Yvonne Kellerhouse. She changed her name a million times, guys, because she kept getting married to all manner of disgusting men inside there. But this woman alone is literally personally responsible for overseeing so much disgusting dysfunction, enabling disgusting dysfunction, watching videos of the most horrific, disgusting things being admitted to with a full-blown straight face. So just take a look at their pitches. Look at how passionate they are about really pitching the training, really pitching Flag training. It's going to be so great because in a 2-week course hotel, we're going to actually get you to think that you can have prosecutorial powers that you don't have, but you will get here in the hotel. You will have complete carte blanche to use them. You will also be able to have more power than the sitting president of the United States, because we'll get you to, forgive not only federal crimes, but also state crimes while we're at it. Because why not, right, guys? Like, why stop at federal crimes when you can also forgive state crimes? It's not like Florida gives an F. It's not like Florida doesn't want the state crimes to be outsourced to a hotel where a woman such as this, Yvonne Kellerhouse, can just blab her mouth with false pitches about how the training that she is personally overseeing, the disgusting stuff that this woman is normalizing at scale, is all just okay because, don't I look pretty? Don't I have just lipstick on? This was Yvonne Kellerhouse, one of Debbie Cook's favorite people in the world. Literally favorite people of Debbie Cook right here.
Auditor training at Flag is tough. But when we say tough, we don't mean difficult to get through. What we are talking about is the standard of perfection and all of the tech that is used to make the perfect auditor.
And I don't know if you guys saw from right behind her, minor after minor walking inside to go do some tough training. So they were very, very, very proud of their toughness, trust me.
Any Scientologist training at Flag on any course or internship receives the same.
This girl was a minor, guys. She arrived as a minor. Oh, and there's Jimmy Walby right there, another minor that was made a supervisor. So minors everywhere. Minors every nook and cranny of these disgusting hotels where these executives such as Yvonne Kellerhouse here, this clown that's pitching this training as this miraculous, amazing thing. She literally loved to train the minors. Those were her favorite subjects, actually.
Same care and attention and 100% standard training that the world's top auditors receive. There are no compromises in quality at Flag. With multilingual supervisors, materials in all languages, and the tools.
This girl, another, all from different parts of the world, guys. All from different parts of the world. All being made to look like they're really studying. And you see how they pull up the book because they don't want the book to be down and for anyone to read what in the hell they're reading. But it's all just nauseating dysfunction.
Of the golden age of tech, you will acquire these skills faster and easier than you ever thought possible.
Oh, and there it is, guys. Proof of what I've been telling you all. With the little doll. Drill it on a doll. This is how they groom it. This is how they groom the dysfunction, guys. Here's this woman. Here's this man. They have a scripted drill. That's what you see here in front of him is called a script drill. They put a doll in front of them to pretend that it's all just once upon a time, fines and games, and it's just a drill, a scenario. Interrogate the doll. Get used to interrogating a doll, because why not use a doll to groom our disgusting procedures? Why not just call it a drill? Why in the hell not? So here they are, all of these adults, but mind you, there's plenty of kids that get brought in to train to do this. We were trained with dolls by Debbie Cook. We were trained with dolls by this disgusting woman, Yvonne, who was also just all about training minors. She loved it. She thought it was amazing. She thought it was wonderful. She would be clapping for minors. Aren't you so great? You really confronted a lot of evil when you really did get that man to tell us how he was raping people. Like, that was great of you to have done that, is what Yvonne would say to people, literally. That was so wonderful of you to have done that. Your confront of evil could not be any better. Your TRs are so amazing. You really do deserve an award. So Yvonne was all about awarding disgusting degenerates. The more they prove themselves to be degenerates, their little auditor army, the more accolades and claps they got, literally.
Put through their paces on the Flag Pro TRs course, the Flag Professional.
See, guys, there's the Flag Pro TRs where, I mean, look at this disgusting room full of people yelling and all these people yelling and screaming at each other, sitting across from each other. You're a disgusting auditor. Flunk, you reacted. I want to suck your... Flunk, you reacted. Start. You're so full of shit. Flunk, you reacted. Start. Now, this little course that you guys see here is also being trained. This is Dan, another minor that was brought in. That's his name, Dan. And I can't tell who that other one is in the back, but there's another minor here being tasked to, dressed in a suit, of course, in this disgusting green suit, because they did want to not put them in military uniforms because that was creating bad PR, is what Debbie Cook told us. And yeah, there's Dan really telling auditors that they should dehumanize themselves, become shells, that if they're being sexually assaulted, who cares? Because I already drilled it. I already knew this was coming. So why in the hell not? So all of this is groomed right here. All of this is groomed in front of other people. Everyone's watching, everyone's hearing, everyone knows everything. So that's why I said there is no benefit of the doubt of these degenerates. Nothing was like sort of vanilla and then over there was being very horrendous in this. No, this was all done in front of everybody. That's how they groomed it. That's how they normalized it. That's how they're all walking around, you know, complete idiots without a shred of critical thinking skills is what we get ad nauseum by these people, guys.
Metering course, and then the academy, each student learns the mechanics of the mind and the know-how necessary to handle and control life.
The know-how necessary to handle and control life. Isn't that interesting, guys? In 2 weeks, that's what you learn inside of these hotels. If Yvonne Kellerhouse is teaching you this shit, then you really are learning something, right, Yvonne? She already left, you guys, but you know that she's talking? No, she's not talking. She's saying nothing. She's probably on a payment program together with her friend, with her bestie, Debbie Cook. Because all of these executives that leave, especially after Marty Rathbun bungled everything for them inside of the hotel, they're like, okay, going forward, we really have to put people on monthly check plans so that everyone keeps their mouth shut. And we don't get shut down by the authorities because, you know, they already know that Yvonne has not a spine. They already know that Angie Blankenship has no spine. They already know Debbie Cook has no spine. So, you know, they don't have a spine and we just pay them a little thing on the side, then they're going to keep their mouths shut and pretend that no kids were harmed as they spent their decades doing the work of a convicted and indicted felon. The things that these women have done are indefensible beyond. There is no defense for abusing minors full knowing. And these women knew it and they loved it. They got off on it. And that's why they felt that they were all so powerful. Look at Yvonne here looking so the rough and tough, and I'm so tough, and I'm so this, and I'm Yvonne, and I really know what in the hell I am talking about.
Ready to handle just about any situation that could ever come up, both in an auditing session or in life.
Ready to handle any situation that would come up in auditing or in life, guys. And that includes, but is not limited to, getting SA'd inside of those hotels while somebody was having a session. So let's make sure that that is clear, that these people really do pitch, that you can handle it all. You drilled it already. You already spent 3 months being yelled at obscenities. So when the obscenities come, when the humiliation comes, when you run into that as a child inside of one of those rooms, oh, well, you know what? I did do a drill. And this is what the doll was saying back in the day. So I'm very, very comfortable being assaulted.
The flag internship.
Oh, look at this, guys. Another example of how little they gave an F. Here's Nanette, another girl from Canada that was either from Canada or was definitely from another state that was brought into Florida. But this girl is a minor in charge of the internships. So you see that little thing in front of the blue e-meter? That's called a simulator. That's called a simulator. And right behind her is this African-American man who was also a minor. Isn't that great, guys? Minors every single frame because that's how little they give an F.
Is where the student learns the practical side of auditing and where he becomes flawless, loveless, and 100% standard with not a comma out of place. He can handle anything. He has become a flag-trained auditor in every sense of the word.
So another minor right here behind her. And Flubless can handle anything. They can handle anything, you guys. Like, handle anything is not just handle nothing. Is they can handle self-admission of felonies. They can handle essayed. Getting essayed in the room becomes the fault of the auditor. Okay, and here we have minors being used to pitch, such as Nanette right here, pitching that, yeah, she really knows what in the literal hell she's talking about. I mean, you wouldn't know that she was 14 when she got started doing this because she's been dressed in one of these clown, disgusting suits to adulticize her and to literally blur the lines. Literally blur all lines of common sense because, you know, she doesn't look 14. She looks like she could maybe be 19 or 20 or maybe even 21, right?
Here comes a complete checkout on all the basics. TRs, metering, the communication cycle. Each of them will be taken.
There's another example of these people doing TRs in front of each other. This is something you have to do over and over and over. And oh, look, there's Joe right there. Another minor right here. And then this girl here was also a minor with the purple jacket. So here's another two minors next to each other. She was my student. He was my student. I wasn't an internship supervisor. I was before Nanette. So Nanette was the minor tapped to get them through their internships by Debbie Cook and by Yvonne. But there's not one frame we've been able to get through where minors are not literally being paraded and promoted to entice more people to come. In what world does somebody watch a video and says, oh my God, they really do have a lot of minors there, let me sign up? How is that being used to lure more degenerates into these hotels is what we're asking ourselves right now.
Part and looked over with a magnifying glass. And every
Oh, and there's my friend Martina Foyce, another minor from Italy, brought in to, you know, become an interrogator of adults, to become a case supervisor, a senior case supervisor of an organization. She was tapped to become the Richard Reese of Verona, Italy, you guys. So minors everywhere. The woman right behind her, her name is Ilona. She was a woman that was so frail. She was brought in from Hungary. She was so frail. She was passing out half the time. She was totally malnourished. She hated working there. And she was always getting yelled and screamed at by Debbie Cook and Yvonne because she wasn't tough enough and she was too weak. And you're not being mean enough to the kids. That's how these people would act. Oh, you're not screaming enough. Like you're just reasonable. So there just couldn't be more monstrous if they tried.
weakness detected, even the minor ones. Then comes the handling, and this is where the cramming officer steps in. He'll find the right outness and come up with the
This is another one of my students, Francesca, from Verona, brought in from Italy to become a disgusting, depraved, unhinged auditor, you guys. And again, it's like, it's sickening because it's like people, it's not natural to be that depraved. It's not natural to act that unhinged. These people were forced to be like that by people like Debbie Cook and by people like, you know, Yvonne Kellerhouse. Be like L. Ron Hubbard. You're not sounding like L. Ron Hubbard. We need to correct you. We need to correct you. Stop being nice to people inside of those sessions and start acting like L. Ron Hubbard said to act, and start sounding like L. Ron Hubbard said to sound. So another foreigner being used here to become a disgusting person.
Exact handling needed. Whatever you need to become a perfect auditor. Then you are ready to audit and audit and audit. Hours and hours. Every day. Because Ron said the only way you will ever become a perfect auditor is by auditing.
Isn't that great, guys? Ron said the only way you're going to become an auditor is by auditing. And you're going to do this for hours and hours and hours and hours. And hours of wasted time, of practicing law without a license, of having delusions of grandeur that are so disgusting. I mean, what kind of certificate are these people really giving these people to have? And what is being allowed? What's being normalized inside of these hotels at an industrial size scale?
Imagine this. You've got your TRs down cold. Your metering is flawless. Your comm cycle is perfect. You get a program NCS from your expert flag case supervisor, and it's spot on for your PC. You go in session. The result? A crack case.
There's Brandon Wu, another minor being used to interrogate. There's Brandon Wu, you guys. He started as a minor, then was trained. Then he grew into it. But there's just exhibit number 1 billionth.
That was flag auditing, and you delivered it. It's this intensive, exacting, precise combination.
And you see all the folders that are behind her right here, guys? That's the dossiers of all these people. That's the dossiers that they have on everybody. That's the dossiers that literally spell out the felonies that they have admitted to, the disgusting sexual depravities that they are on record paying to tell them every last nauseating detail of that. Because that's how tight these people are. Like, yeah, I trust you with all my secrets. Let me really tell you about this other one here that I did commit. So again, Nanette, the girl here, the minor that is being put on a promotional video by Debbie Cook, deranged, unscrupulous, deranged, literally couldn't be more out of her mind, Debbie Cook. I mean, in what world do you even tap the minors to promote, to lure more people inside of the hotels, guys? Honestly.
That makes the best auditors in the world and can make you one of the best auditors in the world. Standard and unshakably certain with a complete grasp of flawless auditing. You have become a flag auditor.
A flag auditor, flubless, have no mistakes. You're just a robot of L. Ron Hubbard. Wow, what a great accomplishment. Isn't that such a great accomplishment, guys? And they don't get tired of pitching that word because that's what they would tell you. Become perfect, become flubless. Really do train yourself to exactly sound like L. Ron Hubbard, to exactly ask the questions that L. Ron Hubbard was pitching to use, to literally torture other humans, hold them against their will inside of those rooms, question them in unhinged, disgusting ways, as if you're like some sort of prosecutor from whatever that has not a shred of legal license. There's the hotel, guys.
Here at the Fort Harrison, our HGCs are staffed with the world's top trained golden age of tech auditors.
So that's where it all started for me. I was made a folder page of the very first window that you see here, all the way to her right below her hair. That was where Savannah Royce, the 16-year-old from Switzerland that was made aboard IC, that was literally essayed by another 8 different type of men from security, including Bruce Bolger, a full-grown man that had literally sex with a minor that Debbie Cook knew all about, that Angie Blankenship knew every single thing about. But yeah, what an amazing hotel they got going on, right, guys?
At Flag, the work begins before you even arrive. Your folders will be called for well in advance. And
These people, guys, here that you see reading the folders are the ones that are calling in all the security information. They're the ones checking, is this person really qualified to be here at Flag? Let's really see what's in their folders. Let's really read everything that we have here for ourselves. So the work begins before they arrive, because the work consists on full incrimination for themselves. And they want to really know everything, and they want to read everything, and there is not any type of plausible deniability these people can call for.
they will be gone through from beginning to end to make sure that they are programmed for the exact.
Look at the size of those folders, guys. Look at it for yourselves. This is right here. This pink slip is called the folder error summary. So they're reading every page and writing down, noting down every single disgusting thing discussed in these sessions is put in these pink slips. So they've got all manner of ways to check all the disgusting depravities and to write them down and to really, like, you know, check their notes. On and on and on.
Exact thing you need as your next step on the bridge. No more and no less.
Another tiny minor here, another one that was of these Russian girls. This is not Ekaterina, but another minor being used to, oh yeah, bring us the folders full of self-admissions of felonies. Bring it to us right now, because again, this girl was tapped to be a slave for Debbie Cook.
And it is overseen by a Class 12 case supervisor. As soon as you arrive, you will receive an interview with the Director of Processing, and then one of a host of Golden Age of Tech flag-trained auditors will be standing by to take you.
See how the auditor brings the person inside of the hotel rooms, okay? So this is what the hotel rooms look like, you guys. This is a converted hotel room, literally being turned into an audit room, where the auditor goes and says, is your chair comfortable? Do you have any tight clothes or shoes on? Oh yeah, your bra's a little tight. Well, why don't you undo your bra in front of me? Oh, so your pants are a little tight? Well, why don't you just unzip your pants in front of me? In front of me, a child. Because, you know, do you think Debbie Cook is going to care? No, Debbie Cook is going to be like, go make those hours. Go make me some money. That's all they cared about, you guys. All they cared about is make me the money now. Make me the money. I need money. Money is very needed. We need to make more money. We're not making enough money, guys. You need to really get your ethics in and make money for us.
In session within hours, and you will be on your way up the bridge.
I mean,
with intensive auditing that is.
Oh, guys. Literally a child. I mean, we just literally saw a minor in this video right here being given the cans because, again, why not pitch this demographic too? You know, never mind that even the minor, you see, oh yeah, put something really, what do you call it? Professional, so they don't look like a 14-year-old. He'll look more like maybe 19. But here's another minor being utilized by these people.
Bridge with intensive auditing that is.
This guy here that you only see the back of, his name is Nir Leb. He was another minor that was brought in by his parents to become an auditor, to become a DFP. Then he ended up having an L2D with Natalie Galbiati, so meaning that him and Natalie Galbiati had literally done you know what. And Natalie Galbiati also had an L2D with Nathan Biggs, another adult case supervisor who was essaying. So all of these people in these hotel rooms discussing felonies because, hey, why not? L. Ron Hubbard said it was okay to do that. L. Ron Hubbard gave us a technology. The IRS finds this extremely religious in nature. Couldn't be more religious if you tried to apply law without a license, to apply the law without having a shred of a clue on how any laws work. But in 2 weeks, you will learn how the laws work inside of these hotels.
It is guaranteed to be spot on and 100% standard. Every session will be perfect. And then you will get 3, 4, 5, or even more of those perfect sessions every day.
Isn't that great, guys? 4, 5, 6 of those perfect sessions every day. That's how many sessions were being delivered to these clowns that were paying to have it done to them, that were paying for kids to do it to them, that were enrolling their kids, that were paying for their kids to be abused in this disgusting way as well. Because, I mean, again, the derangement came in so many different type of flavors. It was definitely tutti frutti criminal operation.
As much as 2 and even 3 intensives a week. That's a lot of auditing.
2 to 3 intensives a week, guys. So that means that for 25 to 37 and a half hours, you will be getting interrogated inside of one of those hotel rooms. I mean, aren't you so lucky to be having to pay $500 plus an hour to get interrogated by a minor, including but not limited to?
And translates into intensive progress up the bridge. Flag's auditors and CSs are trained to handle anything.
They're trained to handle anything, you guys. Anything. You committed a felony? Great, we can handle that. You committed a misdemeanor? Great, you can handle that too. Anything that's going on in your life, we know how to handle it. We are know-it-alls inside of these hotels. We know everything. If we don't know it, we will make it up. We will pretend like we do know it. And that is the culture inside of there.
And they will personally make sure that you move up the grade chart.
When the Flag Land Base opened in 1975.
Look who it is, guys. Janet Herring. If it isn't Janet Herring, one of my recruiters, one of the women who recruited me, one of Debbie Cook's besties. Janet was the chief officer of this place. So here's a child trafficker, deputy of child trafficker extraordinaire, Debbie Cook. And she really wants to now pitch us, Janet Herring, what type of disgusting things they're going to be doing inside of those HCCs that she runs. This woman oversaw all the delivery of all of these disgusting sessions, guys. So just keep that in mind.
5, LRH gave Flag the responsibility to move all Scientologists to OT. To achieve this, he entrusted Flag with special Flag-only rundowns. Rundowns that require the best auditing and case supervision on the planet. As a result, our technical team can crack any case no matter what.
See, guys, they can crack any case, no matter what. So for all of the self-admitted, completely deranged people, don't worry about it. We're going to crack your case, is what you're told inside of those hotels. Oh, you committed 1 million felonies? Who cares? We're going to crack your case. We have so many ways to crack it. It's not even funny.
These case resolution rundowns will get anyone moving on the bridge and up to OT in no time. They terminatedly handle specific phenomena that can block bridge progress. Out-int can snarl up all other auditing until it's handled. One can fixably go into things on any dynamic to very unhappy results. The int by dynamics rundown resolves all manifestations of out-int on all dynamics. If you were to add up all the job-related upsets you've had just this lifetime, and then multiply that by countless lifetimes, that's a lot of charge. That's what the profession intensive handles, and you become cause over your work. Attention stuck on a single individual can prevent you from creating.
Nothing like having these reductive BS balls of energy to really put their pitch deck together, guys. Nothing like, oh yeah, the energy is going to blow. And look how you see this ball dispel so much energy. That's how it's going to feel for you, is how these idiots are lured into buying this stupid technology that doesn't work the minute that you hide a felony from them. Let's keep underlying that. L. Ron Hubbard's dysfunctional AF technology stops working. You're not going to get a single win if you keep a single felony to yourself. So before any of these people that really want to pitch, oh, Serge, no, it wasn't always about felonies. Come on. We also talked about energy, and we also talked about floating, and we also talked BS. If these people had one felony they kept to themselves that they didn't share with their auditor, all of a sudden, the entire technology is just breaking apart, not working. The person's going to be roller coastering, going up and down, having not a shred of a clue what in the hell's going on. I mean, it's just so idiotic, is nauseating.
In the present time. The fixated person rundown relieves this condition, frees up your attention, and gives you great resurgence in life. The dynamics can get overloaded with heavy charge, and it increases beyond your ability to operate well. The dynamic sort-out assessment uncovers and blows these deep layers of charge. Specific case phenomena can blunt an individual's ability to flourish and prosper. Discoveries from LRH's upper OT band research yielded the Havingness rundown.
Research, upper levels research, guys. LRH's upper level research. The research of a convicted, indicted felon is what these people were just goo gaga for. So let's make sure that's clear.
This rundown spans all dynamics and restores your command of flows, energy, and money. The new Vitality Rundown, available only to pre-clearers, gets to the bottom of unexplained roller coastering, problems, and stress in life. Individually tailored to you,
What in the literal hell is this thunderstorm with a ball flying around? I mean, guys, realize people paid upwards of 20 to 30 to 40 to 50 grand to get the new Vitality rundown, the one that Janet Herring, child trafficker Janet Herring, is pitching here.
No two PCs are ever asked the same questions. Yet, all who complete it get the result its name implies: new vitality.
Oh, guess what, guys? Everything is rote AF, but in this one rundown, no two people get asked the same question. Isn't that so wonderful to know ahead of time? So you're really going to ask me questions no one else has ever been asked? It's not going to be like the rest of your other stupid technology where all you do is regurgitate these stupid rote things that aren't on a piece of paper pitched by a convicted indicted felon. Isn't that just so great?
Your capacity to know is limitless. Yet, you may despise studying or have difficulty learning.
What is
Or
going
you may
on
neglect
with this
training
roller
others.
coaster ride?
The knowledge rundown blows away deep-seated charge on this subject and returns your power of choice to know. It was the use of the case cracker rundown at Flag that proved there was no such thing as a failed case. Included in this rundown.
Case cracker, guys. Case cracker. They would crack people's cases. They literally be like, oh my God, gonna crack your case. Tell us a felony. Oh my God, you cracked just.
Rundown is an assessment of the list LRH called the champion list of all time. Together with other actions in this rundown, there is no case that cannot be cracked at Flag.
There you go, guys. You heard it from Janet Herring, child trafficker deputy of Debbie Cook. There was no case that Flag could not crack. So just imagine how far that goes. Just picture it for a second, how deranged, disgusting, and unthinkable that actually goes.
With precision, speed, and the greatest expertise in the world, these flag-only rundowns can cut through any barrier, address the exact, precise problem, and get you moving towards freedom and OT.
In 1970,
That's
LRH
Richard
described
Reed.
a special case remedy as about the wildest breakthrough we've had in 20 years. This tech threw away a being's basic case. It gave both the lower and pre-OT grades a boost to a level never before seen. Of course, this special case remedy was what we now know as.
So right by this window, guys, is where we would be brought in by Debbie Cook when we were not making enough money for her. And that's where Debbie Cook would yell and scream unhinged. Because, I mean, as much as you guys see here how, oh yeah, we're so nice. Come and get your case cracked and we're going to service you. And all these people are smiling and grabbing cans and everyone's smiling. Yeah, that's how they actually pitch it. But don't worry, once you sign the contract, once they own you, the smiles are going to drop. And then right by that window is where they would line up everybody that worked in those HCCs. And that's where Debbie Cook and Janet Herring would take turns humiliating, yelling, the fuck, you guys are not getting your quotas met. We already put you on a quota. Tonight, no one is gonna go home until every single PC gets at least 4 hours of auditing. And if you don't make your quota of 500 hours of auditing delivered, then no one is gonna go home tonight. Y'all are gonna clean every single thing of this HGC. You will not have any sleep. You will be on 15-minute meal breaks. So by the time you get to the place where you're supposed to get something to eat, you have to turn right back. But what a great religious environment this is, right, guys? I mean, literally, Richard Reese himself makes it so religious with that forehead.
As the L's. Only at Flag can you receive the one series of rundowns in Scientology that produces the specific EP of stable exteriorization.
Oh, isn't that great? Richard is pitching stable exteriorization, guys. Well, if any of you in the comments are wondering if Richard was a full-blown pervert, he was. Back when he was alive. And there's literal minors that Richard was caught doing stuff with. But you know what? Why not have a pervert become the senior case supervisor? Because who cares? We have a technology that really handles people. We have a technology that even Richard can avail himself of to really find the confusions before he decided to be a pervert, is what these self-admitted perverts of abusing kids were told, guys. Oh, so you had that impulse? Oh, you had an evil purpose? Okay, well, what was the confusion before you had that evil purpose? Were you confused? That was your confusion? When was the first time you ever recall being that confused? Okay, great. We just actually handled your proclivity to want to be a pervert to minors. That's how Richard was handled. By Debbie Cook. That's how Richard was handled by Janet Herring. That's how Richard was handled by Yvonne, because Yvonne Kellerhouse herself, the woman that you saw pitching training, was Richard's senior. She was above Richard. So all of these women were getting fed reports. We're being fed literal video recordings of Richard admitting in full detail when, where, how he committed felonies inside of that hotel, perpetrated on the minor that he perpetrated them on, because why not? Why not, since this technology is so great, and why not, since L. Ron Hubbard did write it on a piece of paper to do that? Why not? We really want to wonder that right now. Why yes is the question that we're asking today. Why were you all applying law without having a shred of a clue what the law actually is? And in what world are you all tapping people that are admitted, full-blown admitted child perverts? Make that make sense right now. It makes no sense. And if you want to really pitch that, well, you know, he didn't really get his withholds off, his needle did float. Well, you know what? That means nothing. That is a word salad BS garbage that y'all took as a pitch from a convicted, indicted felon. So now take that pitch to a real criminal attorney. All of the Scientology parents that took that pitch, all of the executives that also took that pitch, Janet Herring, you, Debbie Cook, stop cashing checks for yourself and turn yourself to the FBI and tell them what in the hell you were actually doing. Instead of pretending that you were a victim of a problem that you yourself created for yourself and for all the other kids that you put in harm's way on a daily, weekly, minute-to-minute basis. Let's just start with that fact. First and foremost.
Each of the L rundowns contains actions so explosive that they demand a special class of auditors, the Class 12.
So explosive, you guys. literally Google the L rundowns and the disgusting questions that are asked in those rundowns. Because Richard is literally the first part of his pitch that has been true. Explosive is correct. That's how we would describe those disgusting questions. Explosive AF. So maybe he missed the AF, but he did pitch it as explosive. So let's give him credit for that part of his pitch.
The only auditors on the planet with unique auditing techniques and special TRs required to deliver the L's.
Special TRs, special and unique skills. Do you see how pathetic and idiotic and imbecile these people are? Guys, seriously. Like, in what world do you need some special skills to ask disgusting, incriminating questions? In what world is that?
When you sit down across from a Class 12 auditor, you're not only about to launch into reaches of OT you never knew existed, but you'll be guided there at a level of OT auditing skill not generally dreamed of.
Guided there. See, guys? There were no confessions. Tell us whatever. Just sit down and tell us whatever. No. Have you ever literally essayed an entire planet? Like, what kind of disgusting, ridiculous questions are all of these questions that they came up with?
Given in a precise sequence, L11, L10, and then L12, these rundowns answer the question of how a Thetan could lose all his personal power. L11 reaches deep into the case to grab hold of your most severe aberrations.
Your most severe aberrations, guys. Severe aberrations, that is dog whistle for self-admitted felonies that they really want to hook you up with help to address those severe aberrations. Because these people really do purport that they are going to be doing something inside that room to address that.
Then goes deeper still to vanish them forever. L10 answers the question of why an OT restrains himself and ceases to behave as an OT. This series of 30 rundowns LRH called the King of the Mountain. L10 zeroes in on occluded areas that are not touched in any other rundown. You'll resolve whole track confusions on the lie rundown, uproot ancient second dynamic suppressions on the 2D rundown, unlock your third dynamic power with the groups rundown, and relieve the burdens of eons with the greatest covert motivator rundown. On L11, you will have achieved a new life. On L10, you have become a powerhouse. And yet, there is still one more set of rundowns which awaits you. L12. Imagine the uncountable, discarded, buried, and forgotten identities of the time track, wrapping around the basic you, and all the assorted ridges of charge attached to those countless lives. L12 blasts to the layers, uncovering you. Unwanted traits of your character and bad impulses are seen for what they are as you discharge the harmful energy connected with them. This rundown makes you a true OT, able to boom an area with no reservation, giving you the freedom to be, do, and have anything you choose in life. When you complete L12, you will have achieved stable exteriorization and gained a resurgence of basic purpose and full awareness of your own immortality.
I mean, literally, guys, it's like, what are they talking about? All this immortality, blah, blah, blah. Severe aberrations will be handled. And then you, trust me, you'll be so out of your mind after we handle your severe aberrations. Oh my God. Thank God.
Flag is the friendliest place in the whole world. In this environment, you will make it to.
It's the friendliest place in the whole world. Isn't that great, guys? They're so friendly to felons, for sure. If you are a self-admitted felon, these people will cradle you and canoodle you. These people will find 100 million ways on how that self-admitted felony can float, that self-admitted felony can just escape the world, because nothing like writing it down, transcribing it, video recording it, and becoming fully complicit in a transactional illegal operation that the Clearwater Police is happy to outsource to these people, to the friendliest place on earth. So if any of y'all want to go to the Clearwater Police and tell them about a single crime you committed, why don't you just go down the block where, you can go and tell them the crime you committed, and as long as you pay them a little bit of money, float, 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 you don't have to see a single shred of legal repercussion, because this woman here, Letty Fazio, that has not shred of a clue what in the hell she's talking about either, but does want to tell us that is literally hotel manager, guys. I mean, it's like, when y'all are asking me, Serge, why do you keep calling them hotels? We were in hotels. Meet the hotel manager. Meet the literal hotel manager who will tell you what a great, friendly place this is where they are.
OT. Everything we do is with one purpose in mind: to make it possible for you to rapidly move up the bridge. We do that by putting an environment here where you can keep all your dynamics aligned in your progress up the grade chart. All the little and not so little things: getting from place to place, managing your affairs, keeping sessionable, whatever is needed to make your trip completely distraction-free. Our hotels provide flag standards and accommodations that are suitable to any taste or budget. The Fort Harrison, a landmark for Clearwater, is ideal for those on their L's. Special.
See, guys, that's a hotel with a hotel reception with Carla right here. The first girl you see here, her name is Carla. I mean, never mind that these three girls were also all underage, with this middle-aged man there checking into the hotel. I really want to come get my services. And here's a Carla. That was Carla Sedeco, that was brought from Italy to become a slave. And she's still in there right now as we speak. Imagine that.
Flag-only rundowns, case cracking, and a number of other services.
Look at those cheesy rooms. Disgusting, cheesy rooms. Hotel luxury rooms for the high-paid patrons. Disgusting cockroach-infested hotels for the kids that were doing all the heavy lifting and the work. Debbie Cook did not have this type of posh quarters for any kids that worked for her in the capacity of being enslaved. This was all for the people that were paying $375 plus a night to stay inside the hotels.
Our newest hotel, the Osceola at the Sandcastle, provides ideal accommodations for those on service at the new advanced org adjacent to it. Our many restaurants serve a variety of menus, from the 5-star cuisine of the Hibiscus to the Sandcastle restaurant
With another minor right there.
overlooking the bay, or the Lemon Tree, Hourglass, or Palms Cafe. As our guests,
Another minor right there, serving the food.
Unlimited access to our 3 professionally staffed, state-of-the-art fitness centers, along with saunas, pools, and jacuzzis. And our air-conditioned fleet of shuttles will get you around to any of Flag's facilities.
Well, guess what this hotel was, you guys? This is where my cousin, my underage cousin, was essayed. Full-blown essayed. Okay, was caught having that essay perpetrated on him, and Debbie Cook shipped him off to Mexico faster than anyone could blink their eyes. But right there, the yachtsman is what my 16-year-old cousin was given, the job to go be part of that hotel. So there you go.
facilities. Our reputation as the friendliest place in the whole world grew out of our purpose to see you all the way up the bridge. It all adds up to a one-of-a-kind environment you'll never forget.
One-in-a-kind environment we will never forget, guys. I mean, yes, Letty Fazio, I think that you literally just said the right thing. We will never forget that type of disgusting, illegal, depraved, unhinged hotel that y'all ran. Literally, we would never forget it.
And that's the Flag experience.
Flag acts as the information nerve center for Scientology. These offices...
Oh, guys, here's another minor. This man that you see here is another minor dressed in a suit. Was brought in when he was probably like 14, 15. So another minor is the public relations director. Isn't that great?
on the expansion walkway monitor the advance of the greatest strides ever made in planetary clearing. Their application of the tech penetrate virtually every society of man, each time restoring well-being to it. The International Hubbard Ecclesiastical League of Pastors, IHELP, assists volunteer ministers and field auditors who bring the first...
League of Pastors? I mean, what in the literal legal pastors are minors with a 2-week course inside a hotel that directly ask for felonies? What kind of pastoring is that? By all means, somebody advise what that is.
First glimpses of freedom to people everywhere. Scientology Missions International establishes frontline dissemination in areas new to Scientology, working with pioneer Scientologists whose missions offer hope to millions. On the vanguard of that hope, the World Institute of Scientology Enterprises disseminates LRH tech on all fronts, putting administrative solutions into the world's volatile business communities. Attacking the core of the problems underlying social decay, the Association for Better Living and Education brings LRH's solutions for illiteracy, drugs, crime, and immorality to the world.
Blah, blah, blah. All the front
And there is
group, guys.
Author Services, runs personal organization where you can find out what is being done to preserve LRH's legacy for eternity. Every Friday night, thousands of Scientologists gather in Flag's auditorium for the world's premier graduation.
Okay, you guys, right there is an example of a staff meeting that Debbie Cook would run every Thursday, where Debbie Cook would tell everybody the flaps and the handlings that took place that week. So what happened this week? Oh, flaps and handlings. Oh, yes, we did fine. Serge's cousin being essayed at the Yachtsman. But you know what? He went out to D and he's now been shipped off. And the public that went out to D with is also been shipped off because he doesn't qualify to be doing services here anymore. And we really do need to tell 600 people so that we're all complicit. We're all become accessories to criminal data that we all just share freely here in our staff meetings. Because why not just yap about felonies? It's not like Monique Yingling is anywhere around telling Debbie Cook, don't tell them about the felonies. Don't tell them about that. No, Monique. L. Ron Hubbard said to tell everyone. So we are telling everyone. No one can have a shred of critical thinking. No one can have a shred of scruples. L. Ron Hubbard canceled scruples. L. Ron Hubbard canceled critical thinking skills. So now we're all just sheeple that just regurgitate whatever in the hell he said. But that's exactly where all these base-wide briefings were being held every Thursday, with all these chairs packed to the, literally packed to the last chair. You could not find a chair to sit in. was filled with people that worked at the hotel being told who was the latest person to have had sex with who. What did they do? How did they do it? Where did they do it? How many times did they do it? And this was supposed to really send a message, is how Debbie Cook ran this operation. Oh yeah, I'm going to send a message so that nobody ever has sex. If I just humiliate them and I just spread this felony among all of us, then you know what? Then it's not going to be a problem next time. I'm sure that people really going to think about it twice. Well, you know what? Next week, there was another outtity of another person. So their leadership style couldn't have been more grotesque. There's not more disgusting leaders that have ever graced the face of earth than Debbie Cook and her minions. The disgusting, depraved women that are all over this video pitching this BS.
To celebrate newfound freedom of those who have attained their next levels on the bridge. Flag also hosts international events, and you'll be there, whether it's the latest announcement of a St. Hill-sized org or the impact of LRH tech in an entire country. Flag is where you'll hear about it first. Traditionally, we play a pivotal role in international expansion, and this will only grow in magnitude with delivery of superpower at the new Mecca. When completed, technical and administrative lines at Flag will expand by a factor of 5. And on a broader scope, the new Mecca will put this planet within range of clearing. History is being made at Flag as we lay the foundations of a truly new civilization.
So this is what awaits you at Flag, your personal immortality. Never.
Okay, guys, and there's Santani. This kid right here was a minor. And over here you see Jason Hemphill, another one that was a minor, that was then not a minor, and it's one of the ones that are handling things right now in a very disgusting, crooked way. Then there's Janet Herring, Debbie Cook's friend, bestie. There's Janet Herring, besties of Debbie Cook with the red hair. They thought they were all cool because she was the redhead and she was the blonde. So those were the two main dom bitches from hell, child traffickers from literal hell, is who these two women were. Just unhinged, the top of the top, the real top of the top is what these women said to themselves they were. But right there, right behind Debbie, you see that guy, that kid in a tie and a suit. He was part of the executive division of Debbie Cook. So everybody you see with this blue disgusting shirt is a so-called executive person.
In the history of Scientology have so many moved into the OT band. Of all the adventures on the whole track, none compare to the ultimate prize of spiritual freedom you'll find at the top of the grade chart. And it's here for you right now. Come to Flag so we can take you to OT.
Just look at how many people she trafficked with women. Every single one of them in that thing was somebody that Debbie Cook literally, kid you not, trafficked for herself. So there you go, guys. That is the hotel tour that you all now understand how it looks like on the inside of those hotels. So what have we learned today? That they use minors everywhere, and now we have receipts to prove our point. So if anybody wants to be like, yeah, but there weren't that many minors, well, you know what? There's minors in every frame. There's minors being used to pitch these services to lure more people. Oh yeah, Nanette is saying that they really want to train auditors. Let me sign up because I really want to go get trained by Nanette. So this is called state-sponsored trafficking by the state of Florida, the disgusting state of Florida, who has not a shred of wanting to stop any illegal activities being done inside of those hotels for God knows exactly what in the hell reason. You guys, only the top tier brass, political top tier brass of Florida knows why they're so pressed to have these disgusting clowns literally utilizing minors as slaves in this year 2023 as we speak. This is from before, but nothing changes in those hotels, guys, because guess what? Anything that L. Ron Hubbard didn't write cannot be done. So they're still applying policies from the 1960s. They're still applying policies from the 1970s. They're still applying policies from the 1950s to operate this racketeering scheme. So Debbie Cook is the top tier of this pyramid. She did it for 17 plus years, and she's out there cashing checks, sipping her little pina colada, as she did take it upon herself to go to the Bahamas to, not self-reflect. Because you know what? Dollars make Debbie Cook be conveniently senile on a daily basis. Every time Debbie Cook cashes a check, she forgets a child that we have proof that she was staffing her hotels with. But yeah, the Tampa Bay Times doesn't care that kids are trafficked. The Clearwater Police is happy that kids are being trafficked because they couldn't care any less. And that's what we learned today, that they don't care, that the laws of the United States are unenforceable, that everything that's written in those laws is literally for nothing, for no good reason. It's just platitudes on pieces of paper, that no one is around to enforce anything that is written in those laws. Because these paradises where lawlessness is the name of the game, where deranged narcissists, malignant AF narcissists such as Janet Herring, such as Yvonne Kellerhouse, Pineda, who knows what in the hell her last name is today. And Debbie Cook did have free reign to do whatever in the hell they wanted to every kid that they did show in these videos. So we have a lot more coming, and we're going to continue to dispel the denialism that all Scientology parents and all Scientology executives are sitting on, the convenient denial state that they're in. Because you know what? They don't want to tell anybody that they were part of a child trafficking racketeering enterprise. They want to tell people that once upon a time, David Miscavige did ruin all their fun. And they really want to make David Miscavige the one and only that was completely deranged and a psychopath. But you know what? There's a whole pyramid of psychopaths. That's why it goes up like that. So right beneath Debbie Cook, there's Janet Herring, there's Yvonne, there's Richard, there's Nanette over here, a minor, all of them involved in unthinkable, illegal, unacceptable behavior of at least practicing law without a license. At the very least, conducting depositions that are illegal, that are incriminating in nature by the type of questions that are being asked inside of those hotels. So, yeah, Let's go, America. Pitch this today. Pitch how you're so religiously protective of whatever in the hell you're saying you're religiously protecting. What? IRS commissioner who couldn't have been more of a clown idiot himself. What type of leverage does Scientology have on the IRS, or how did they actually seduce them into propping up this disgusting, unhinged criminal racketeering conspiracy? Because that's what we're going to leave those people to have to answer for today, you guys. We brought in minors from other states that were brought in to work for Debbie Cook and Janet Herring, minors from other countries, from Canada, from Mexico, from Italy, from Germany, all minors that were lured. I mean, this makes Jeffrey and Ghislaine Maxwell look like they were like peanuts. But again, there is no appetite by anyone in the Tampa Bay Times to have a shred of critical thinking skills, because they're so worried about connecting a dot. So why is the Tampa Bay Times so worried to connect a dot? Why is the Tampa Bay Times so obsessed with David Miscavige and nothing else? Why is that the case? Why? Why are they so ridiculously naive, dumb, or pathetic? I mean, what is their excuse to have no critical thinking skills? What is their excuse to not pick up any of the books that literally dispel how to be a depraved, disgusting, unhinged, lawless human, to humanize others as a job? Because that's very great, and L. Ron Hubbard is very smart. And yeah, let's really follow what that convicted, indicted felon is pitching, because what could go wrong? What could go wrong with following the advice of a convicted, indicted felon, you guys? I'd leave you with that question, because that's all we need to understand today. What in the literal hell is actually going on? So thank you all for watching, and I will see you all extremely soon. Bye.